Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a past life regression hypnosis session. And if you listen regularly to the show, you'll be aware that I'm currently putting together a pitch deck, an idea to take to various production companies to pitch for the idea of a TV show that is based on the idea of past life regression. And for that, I need volunteers that are happy to have a free past life regression hypnosis session with me. But because it's free, the normal confidentiality and anonymity doesn't apply. That's the trade-off of having a free session with me, is that there isn't the same level of confidentiality. So in this hypnosis session, you will hear the voice of the guest that I did the session with doing a bit of an interview after the past life regression. And it's useful because one of the ideas that I have for this TV show is almost like a detective true crime type of format, but dealing with past life experiences. So it enables this idea of playing detective and looking for clues actually within the mind of the individual going back to a past life. Now, one of the key things that is the biggest debate about past life regression is whether or not it's real or not. And I'm very much on the fence. I used to believe that it's just your imagination creating things in real time like you do in a dream. It can be generative. But I had this kind of idea that if it was made up and people have a need for, let's say, significance, then it's highly likely that when you do these past life regression sessions that everyone's going to be Cleopatra, or everyone's going to be King Henry VIII, or everyone's going to be Abraham Lincoln. But actually, I've done a lot of past life regression sessions, and most people are ordinary people with ordinary jobs, with extraordinary events that happen in their lives. And that for me makes me think, well, there could be, there's so much that we don't know. If you went back in time 200-300 years and you explain to some of the things that we take for granted now that we fully understand about, let's say, the solar system or science or, things like that, everyone would think you're a magician. So it's certainly possible that there are things about consciousness and the soul and lives before and after we're born that we just don't know. So I'm very much a scientist in this regard, and I'm open-minded, but I want to see where the evidence takes it. And that's why I need more volunteers. So in this hypnosis session, you're going to listen to a session that I did with a volunteer called Jessica, who went back to what she thought was Europe, and looked like it was in the early 20th century. And there was a feeling of something military-like happening in an old house. Now, because there was noise in the background of Jessica, she put herself on mute. So when I was asking questions, she couldn't respond in a way that I could hear, which is why I've got her responses as a interview afterwards. Normally I wouldn't have the interview afterwards, but I thought given that you as the listener wouldn't know what was going on, it was worth me asking the questions afterwards, if that makes sense. So worth listening to this if you're interested in past life regression, but equally, I'm still looking for more volunteers. So if you like the idea of doing a past life regression session with me, drop me an email at adam@adamcox.co.uk. The links will be in the show notes. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram account is at AdamCoxOfficial. Drop me a direct message, and I'm willing to see where this goes. It's a natural curiosity that I have, but I do think it has the potential to make for a really interesting TV show. But I want to test it out in audio format first. So just to be clear, if you're volunteering for the past life regression session, this isn't to be on TV because I haven't been given the go-ahead yet. This is more for me to gather information so I can polish the idea for a possible TV show. So for this particular session, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed and relax, and just follow on with the story, see where it goes. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension or worry to leave your body in that outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, relax your eyelids, your jaw, neck and shoulders. And just allow yourself to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to imagine almost like you're floating. Imagine your whole body is like a helium balloon, and you can let go of tension and just allow your whole body to feel light and floaty. I want you to remember, perhaps, the first time you ever saw a balloon flying in the air. Maybe you were a child, maybe there was a birthday party, and maybe you can recall where someone accidentally let go of a balloon and it just floated away. And maybe you can remember where you were back then. Maybe how old you were, where you were living at the time. And I want you to feel that that's where you are now. Almost like you're reconnecting with a time from your childhood. I want you to imagine walking to maybe a mirror, or maybe reflective glass, maybe a window from a house or a car, and I want you to see your face back then, being a child perhaps, and feeling how you would feel being back in that moment. And I want you to recall that back then there would be a place where you would either sleep or just rest if you were tired. And I want you to imagine going to that place and putting on the kind of music that you would have played when you really wanted to relax. Maybe it was an old stereo system, a Walkman. I want you to get a sense that you can remember the music from back then. And as you're listening to that music, feel like you're getting deeper and deeper relaxed. If you're on a sofa or a bed, just feel like arms and legs are getting heavier and heavier, feeling a desire to yawn, eyelids feeling like they're stuck, like your eyes are shut. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, just feel like you're drifting off deeper and deeper relaxed. And I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And with each descending number, you will feel deeper and deeper relaxed. 10, eyelids feeling heavier and heavier. 9, any muscles in your forehead or jaw, just release that tension now. 8, feel a wave of relaxation all over your face, top of your head to the back of your head, that's it. And then 7, feel that same relaxation spreading down your neck into your shoulders. Then 6, going into your arms. Arms feeling limp, loose, heavy, that's it. 5, as you breathe in, even your internal organs are starting to relax. That's it. 4, going all the way into your gut, releasing any anxiety. 3, all the way into your legs, just like your arms, limp, loose, heavy, that's it. 2, so relaxed there in that place of your childhood, drifting off into an imaginary sleep. You're not actually asleep, but just imagining what it would be like to drift off asleep. That's it. 2 and then 1, and just imagine you're drifting off into an imaginary sleep. And in this imaginary sleep, I want you to imagine a tube that travels through time. Perhaps it looks like a swirling wormhole. I want you to imagine that this can go backwards in time, it can go forwards in time, but right now you're choosing within your imagination to feel like you're floating without any gravity through the middle of this time tube, going back, weaving back through time. And it's almost like you're hovering over different lives, and the more you swim back through this tunnel, the further back in time you go. And I want your intuition to call you to a life. It could be any of those past lives. It could be recent history, or thousands upon thousands of years ago. But I want your intuition to call you to a specific place in history and time where something happened in that life that is still echoing through time, creating a ripple effect that is even affecting your current life. Allow your intuition to call you as you're swimming gravity-free through this time tube, this tunnel through time. And when you feel that there is a life calling you to visit, to experience, let me know by nodding your head. If nothing calls immediately, keep swimming through this tunnel and maybe get a glimpse of different lives beneath you, different faces. It could be any gender, any race. You're just looking through this time tunnel until it seems like you're being pulled towards this life. Maybe it's a fascinating life. Maybe something important happened there. When you feel that desire to leave the tunnel into a life, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to allow your intuition to make the transition for you, and accept that in one of these lives, something profound happened, and a resolution in that life will lead to a positive impact in every other life. But I want you to go to a life when you were a child playing. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, and you will imagine when I arrive at 0, being in the body of a child in a past life where you are playing outside, starting to count 5, feeling that you are moving from the tunnel, 4, that your unconscious has chosen a life for you, 3, that you're connecting with their body, their life, their history, 2, that you are integrating into who they are, 1, that you are now inside their body, and then 0. Just imagine that there you are in a life that isn't your own, but feels like it's your own back then. And I want you to wander around and explore where you are. And when you feel like you're connected with that location, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to describe what you see. I want you to get a sense that you feel safe there, you feel protected there, you feel happy there, but this is a childhood. And I want you to go forwards in this life to the most significant event of this life. And it will be significant for a reason, even if we don't know what the reason is. And I want you to go forwards in time. Just imagine closing your eyes there as a child, maybe going to where you would sleep back then. And then, very soon, you awaken in an adult version of that same life at a time where something significant was happening. And when you're ready, time to step into that version of you, that adult version of you in that life, and experience what you experience when the most significant thing happened. Maybe it was significant because it was a positive thing. Maybe it was traumatic in some way. Maybe it taught you a lesson about yourself. But I want you to experience whatever you experience, knowing that this is not you. You are just inside an avatar through time. This is not your body. This is the body of a life that you are temporarily occupying. Experience what you experience. Feel what you feel. And get a sense that there is a lesson to be learned in this moment. A universal truth. A principle that will help you whoever and whenever you are. And when you've finished experiencing whatever that experience is, let me know by nodding your head. as you experience that moment. Feel that you are getting wisdom and insight, knowledge and lessons, but I want you to take the knowledge and experience of your current life back to that moment that was so significant, and I wonder what you would do differently with the knowledge from the future in that context. And I want you to imagine reliving that same significant moment, but applying future wisdom into that significant moment. And maybe it's entirely different, or maybe it's subtly different, but I want you to relive the moment, knowing everything that you now know from your present life and what you witnessed in that initial experience. Go through the whole thing again, but applying wisdom, insight, and knowledge into that same moment. And when you've re-updated that moment, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to feel that the nature of time is that ripple effects take place. Something as simple as the tiniest of moments 1,000 or 2,000 years ago could completely change what things are in the future. And I want you to get a sense that this change, major or minor, is rippling through time all the way to your present life. And when you return to your present life, it will have a powerful, significant impact, positively enabling you to be able to trust your intuition and your judgment more, and to feel confident in your ability to make major life decisions. I want you to tap into that essence, that a change can create a butterfly effect through time. And when you're ready to leave this moment, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to imagine you're shifting perspective from this body back into that floating version of you in that time tunnel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find yourself floating without gravity in the middle of the time tunnel, and find yourself swimming through the time tunnel back to your present life. And you can see you as a child listening to music, maybe on a bed or a sofa, and then shift perspective so you're now in that version of you. And I want you to imagine turning the music off, wandering outside, and seeing a floating balloon. And as you see that floating balloon, you imagine what it would be like for you to be floating, and then to feel like you're getting heavier and heavier and floating back down into your body in exactly this present. At this moment in time, listening to my voice, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, fully integrating into this moment, but taking all the wisdom and insight and positive changes with you. And very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, optimistic, feeling a useful change has taken place. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Give me a little bit of, first of all, your first impressions and kind of what you experienced there.
Um, so it was weird. I mean, I couldn't get into the tunnel initially. So, I mean, the balloon, the relaxation that actually happened faster. The relaxation happened faster than I thought it would. Um, but I couldn't get into the tunnel until I think at one point the instruction was to look not so much to be swimming through. I think you said something about swimming through. I can't
Mm.
remember. Like and looking and swimming through. And then for some reason I was able to see things, but um just kept seeing um a boy telling me to come on in a field.
Mm.
So it was in a field and it was like uh it had to be Europe because no one dresses. I mean, like this is that time. And it was like the cap and it was little knickers and it was like it was I was like, yeah, this has to be Europe. And he was blonde. Um, so but he was telling me to come on to go to this big white house.
Mm.
So there was a big white house and there was like a, a field. And then I can't remember what you were saying. Oh, you were saying then to because I couldn't see myself. I think I don't know if you heard me say I only see a boy. I couldn't see myself when you
Mm.
asked me to describe what I was seeing. Like
Okay.
yeah,
Did it
it
feel
was
like
like
you were in a body of who you were that, but then seeing someone else also of your
mhm.
age, or did it feel like,
Also of my age.
yeah,
So I was
the
little.
boy? So you were little, and you saw someone else of your age at the same time that was a boy.
Yeah,
Did you
telling me
feel
to
like
come
you
on.
were a boy or a girl in that moment, or?
So I was trying to figure it out, and then I figured I was a girl.
Hmm.
Because I was like, well, I couldn't tell, and then I said I figured I was a girl. And then but nothing really happened. We went we never like went to the house. I was more intrigued with the house. I was trying to figure out what whose house it was. Like I couldn't really figure that out until I was in the same house as an adult. When you said, I don't know, you said something about being an adult.
Hmm.
And I was in the same house as an adult. And but the clothing, uh it was weird. The clothing, because again, I couldn't ever see myself. I could see like what I was, wearing, but I couldn't really see myself. And so that was what I wasn't expecting. I thought I'd be able to like see myself more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I couldn't. I could see other people. So I
Yeah.
could
But if
be
you're in a
me.
first person perspective, I guess
Yeah.
you would see the people around you. Most people don't walk
Yeah.
around looking at
Around
them,
going like,
and maybe there was less
Californian.
mirrors, kind of back then. And
Yeah.
then going forwards in time to the significant moment. What was that significant moment?
So, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm disappointing, but I couldn't figure out the only thing that kept coming up gosh, was that I think you asked what would I have done differently or
Hmm.
what should and it was leave, but not just me.
Yeah. What was the moment that you experienced that when you thought about doing it differently led to you thinking that leaving would be a good idea?
I was in the house. So I think before you had asked me about the significant moment, I was in the house and I had walked um, from a hallway into uh, a, a room, I guess a dining room where men were meeting.
Hmm.
So men were meeting and they were having a meeting. So this is I don't know what the time period is, but my hair was up and it was like yeah, it was gosh, I don't know. It was that I don't know, I guess this is like the earliest 20th century maybe this was. Um and maybe a little bit earlier, but I'm not sure. I'd have to like look at dresses. Um, and the men were meeting, and uh they were decorated.
Mm.
So they were having a meeting. And there were five at a table. And for some reason I got the feeling of, like, when you said making a significant change, I think is what you said, and
Yep.
it was leave,
Mm.
leave, leave that area, meaning like not
Yeah.
just, yeah, just leave the area.
Did you get a sense that the meeting of the men was somehow connected with you, or that you just happened to see them meeting?
No, so it was it was not regarding me. I was watching the meeting because it was in my house, or I was living in the house. I don't know why, and I don't know who the men were, and one of them was living in the house. But I know that that part, but I don't know beyond that. I don't know what the meeting was, but the meeting, so one of the things I kept trying to do is turn to the so I could turn to the right, and I could look at everything that was beautiful outside,
Mm.
but I could not turn to the left. Like,
Mm.
I could not turn to the left and see what was happening. I don't know why. So I couldn't turn to the left, and whatever, I don't I don't think I don't know if anything was happening to the left, because you were asking about, I think you were talking about what was significant. Um, but I couldn't turn to the left, and I remember thinking that we needed to leave that place, and
Mm.
I don't know why.
And at that point in time, do you get an idea of how old you were?
At that point in time, I was probably 35, 38, something like
Mm.
that.
Okay, so you were older, and you made the evaluation that something
Yeah,
significant is happening.
yeah,
Okay,
and I had
when you said
children.
they were decorated, is
Hmm.
this military decorated? Is
Hmm.
this okay? So it looked like the men were kind of military men in some
Hmm.
way. They're having
Hmm.
a meeting in a big
Hmm.
house,
Hmm.
and
And one
you.
was wearing red,
Oh, okay,
and
interesting.
that's the only thing I can remember as far as color.
And you were getting a sense that okay, the best thing you can do now is to leave. So when you saw it to begin with, you didn't leave, but then with this knowledge of
The
your current
future,
life into there, the new thing to do was to leave that
the
particular
area.
thing. So
Yeah,
perhaps there was a sense of danger or
yeah,
injustice or lack of safety in some way.
yeah. Like something happened in that place.
Mm.
Something, but not uh, like it was not a good situation, and it wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was just like a guy and a wife. It was like a bad physical place to be in that countryside, in that, like, leave, like, get
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
I mean, if we're talking about early early 20th century, obviously there
yeah,
was a First World War. If
yeah,
originally it was kind of early 20th century and then you were around 38, it could be First World War, Second World War. So if it was a European country around that time, you have two major wars at
yeah.
that time.
Two
It's
major wars.
highly likely that,
Yeah,
you know, if military people are having a meeting,
yeah,
then it's going to be safer in the countryside where it's not going to be bombed than perhaps
right,
somewhere else. So it might be that you were witnessing some kind of military meeting, but you got the sense of you're not safe here, if that makes
right.
sense, with a desire to
Mhm,
leave.
mhm.
And did it feel like you were able to gain some kind of wisdom or insight from that moment?
And no, that's probably I mean, to be very truthful,
No, I appreciate
no,
that.
I don't know. Maybe I will later, but I don't. No, I can't think of anything. I actually, it was frustrating because I felt like if I could see more, then I would know more,
Mm,
and I couldn't. I could not turn my head to the left. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
yeah.
Until I think until you were counting me out, and I could start turning, but I was out of that part of it then. And I think I could start turning my head to the left at like wiggle your toes or something like that. Yeah, I think that's when I was able, because I sort of felt like paralyzed
No,
from going that
interesting.
way.
Well, thank you for being a volunteer on this. Really appreciate that. And if you do, let's say, go on Google Images or see any kind of clues as to maybe the style of clothing or the style of the house or anything like that, please let me know, because part of the whole idea of this TV show is to kind of play detective in time, if that makes sense, to see if we can kind of figure out, were these past lives real in some way? And if they were, let's see if we can kind of piece the clues together. So if you're happy to send me that information, if you find any, that will help to kind of explore that. Was there anything else that you wanted to kind of add about what you experienced or how it felt, or anything else?
During, you mean during the
Just any kind of observations, any experiences, or just how you felt going through that process?
I didn't. It's funny because I actually didn't. I felt like I literally felt like I was in a trance. I don't know how to explain it. So that's something that I don't know if I feel that way. I felt like I was not, at a certain point, I felt like I was not able to move. But other than that, like within this sort of, it kind of feels like a dreamlike experience when you're in watching what's happening. So part of it was like, I'm seeing and trying to, I don't know if I was trying to observe too much and but as I got more into the physical body, which I really only really got into the physical body when I was the woman. I mean, I was in the body as a kid, but I didn't do much other than look. I think I was trying to find, while I was the woman, I was trying to figure things out because I was getting feelings of something needing to be known and needing to be and that was urgent. So yeah, there was an urgency. But then I had no fear. That's what was the weird thing to me. Like, why would I need to get out if I have no fear? That didn't make sense to me.
Well, I mean, leaving somewhere isn't always through escape.
Yeah.
In your life, you've moved from one place to another place, not because you were afraid, but just because, you made a choice to go somewhere new. So it might be that it wasn't anything sinister, but just a desire to do something other than what you ended up doing.
Yeah.
So that's really useful, Jessica. And again, if you see anything that reminds you of anything that you've seen there, send it over, because that will be really helpful for what we're working on right now. But just again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.